All right, think fast. What do you think is the most extreme, harsh, and alien habitat on Earth? Deep space? The freezing, crushing, pitch-black bottom of the ocean? Well, what if I told you that one of the most intense, challenging environments to survive in is literally right beneath your shoes?
Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're shrinking down to explore an incredible, almost alien world hidden right in the dirt of your own backyard. It might just look like a pile of mud to us, but for millions of creatures, it is a demanding, high-stakes home. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for navigating this underground world today. First up, the hidden soil habitat. 2, built for the underground. 3, moving and breathing below. 4, the underground menu. 5, amazing soil creatures. And finally, 6, why soil organisms matter. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the hidden soil habitat, surviving the underground. You know, soil isn't just dirt. It's this complex, bustling mix of water, air, crushed up minerals, and organic matter. But living here, it comes with some massive problems to solve. Think about these extreme conditions. First, you've got total darkness down there, literally zero sunlight. And because it's packed so tightly together, there are extremely low oxygen levels, meaning way less air than up on the surface. Add to that constant moisture, making everything wet or damp, and a structure that leaves only tiny, narrow little spaces to squeeze through. But hey, there is an upside. Being buried actually offers great protection from harsh weather and surface predators. So, how do you survive a place with no light, barely any air, and almost zero room to move? Well, you're going to need an evolutionary superpower. In science, we call this an adaptation. An adaptation is basically a special feature or trait that an organism has developed over a very long period of time to help it survive and honestly thrive in its specific environment. Moving right along to Section 2, built for the underground. We're talking body shapes, coverings, and senses. Let's look at exactly how these creatures adapt, starting with their physical bodies. First up, body shape. Check out the elongated cylindrical bodies of the earthworm and the centipede. When your entire world is made up of microscopic twisting tunnels, having a big, bulky body just isn't going to work. By having long, super flexible bodies made of many segments, these organisms can easily slither, bend, and squeeze through the absolute narrowest passages in the soil. Next, let's talk armor. Body coverings are super important because soil is full of tiny rocks and abrasive particles. Crawling through it is literally like dragging yourself across sandpaper. So earthworms adapt with this special, moist skin that helps them slide around safely. Insects, on the flip side, have developed a hard, waterproof outer covering, an exoskeleton. This protects them from getting completely scratched up by the friction and keeps them from drying out in the dirt. And this brilliantly illustrates how creatures navigate in the pitch black. I mean, since eyes are practically useless without sunlight, having highly developed sense organs is an absolute must. Insects use extra long antennae to feel their way around and sense what's near them. Earthworms use these highly sensitive little bristles to detect changes in the soil. And mammals, like the mole, they use incredibly developed senses of touch and smell right on their snouts to find moisture, vibrations, and, of course, food. Which brings us to Section 3, moving and breathing below. Tackling tight spaces and low air. Okay, so you've got the right body shape and the right senses. But how on earth do you breathe when you are practically buried alive? It's a huge challenge because the air down there is so thin. Just look at these brilliant, completely different solutions to the low oxygen problem. Earthworms don't even have lungs like we do. They literally absorb oxygen directly through their moist skin. Crazy, right? Insects take a different route. They breathe through tiny holes on their bodies called spiracles, which hook up to a special built-in tube system called a tracheal system. Meanwhile, underground mammals, like moles, just breathe the limited air that gets trapped inside their tunnels. Now, moving through that compact dirt also takes some incredible physical strength. To push dirt out of the way, earthworms use strong, cooperating muscle rings all along their bodies. They expand and contract, basically inching themselves forward. But for larger creatures like the mole, you need raw brute power. Look at those massive, shovel-like front legs. They are perfectly adapted with super strong claws made specifically for rapid digging through dense, heavy soil. All right, on to Section 4, the underground menu, finding food in the dark. Up here on the surface, practically all food webs start with green plants soaking up the sun. But underground, where there is zero sun and absolutely no green leaves, what exactly is for dinner? Well, the underground diet is totally unique because it relies almost entirely on recycling. Organisms down here are adapted to eat organic matter and tiny soil particles. Things like wood lice and insect larvae, they'll munch on decaying plant material like dead leaves and rotting roots. And then the microorganisms, like bacteria, they break down that dead organic matter into even tinier pieces. They are literally nature's ultimate cleanup crew, enriching the soil by turning dead stuff back into super valuable nutrients. Now for Section 5, Amazing Soil Creatures. Let's meet the underground experts. We've seen the superpowers, now let's actually meet the superheroes. Let's look at how all these traits come together in specific creatures. Take the earthworm, for example. It creates its very own friction-reducing mucus to keep its body moist, it takes in oxygen right through its skin, and it uses tiny bristles to grip soil particles as it moves. Then there's the ground beetle. This thing is basically an armored tank of the dirt. It has strong front legs adapted for digging, a super tough outer covering for protection, and sharp jaws combined with sensitive antennas to help it hunt in the absolute dark.
Now, what's really interesting here is the mole and the beetle larva, or grub. The mole doesn't just have strong claws and a thick neck for digging, it actually has this incredibly smooth fur that can brush backward and forward easily, which ensures it never gets stuck backing up in those tight tunnels. And the little beetle grub? It has very poor eyesight. But guess what? It doesn't even matter, because it lives its entire larval life underground just chewing on roots. It never needs light to begin with.
And we absolutely cannot forget the microscopic experts. Soil fungi grow these long, thread-like strands called hyphae. They spread through the tiny pores in the soil, using special enzymes to break down and absorb nutrients from dead organic matter. And soil bacteria are so extremely small that they can live inside the microscopic gaps between dirt particles. They are perfectly adapted to changes in moisture and oxygen as they relentlessly recycle nutrients.
Finally, Section 6, Why Soil Organisms Matter, the Ecosystem's Foundation.
So you might be wondering, why should we care? Why is the survival of all these little creatures so absolutely crucial to you and me up on the surface? Well, it's because these evolutionary tools do so much more than just keep a few bugs alive. Sure, adaptations let these animals find food, avoid enemies, cope with low oxygen, and reproduce. But as a byproduct of all that digging, eating, and recycling, they do something truly magical. They keep the soil fertile. By breaking down dead plants and animals into nutrients, they basically feed the roots of the plants above ground. Without them, plants just couldn't grow, and our entire global ecosystem would collapse. Just to give you a sense of scale here, think about this staggering number: millions. If you scoop up just 1 single gram of healthy soil, we're talking about the weight of a paperclip. It can contain millions of bacteria and thousands of fungi, all working together right there in the palm of your hand. Still not amazed? Check out these mind-blowing facts. Earthworms work so incredibly hard that they can literally eat their entire own body weight in soil every single day. Moles are such powerful diggers, they can excavate up to 20 meters of complex tunnel systems in just 24 hours. And fungi, they actually form these special partnerships with plant roots, acting almost like an underground internet to share water and essential nutrients. It is a wildly busy, interconnected world down there. Which brings us to our final takeaway for today. Soil may be hidden beneath our feet, but it is one of the most important habitats on Earth. Thanks to amazing adaptations, countless organisms live, grow, and help keep ecosystems healthy. So, the next time you step outside, ask yourself, if an entire alien universe is thriving right under your shoes, what other hidden worlds are just waiting to be discovered? Keep exploring, stay curious, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.